Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Ocean Visit Summit 2021. We're on the fourth day, and you are in the Harnessing Innovation to Accelerate Ocean Solutions with an emphasis on the European and African regions session. While you're in session today, please mute your microphone and turn off your video. If you have questions, put questions in the chat, and speakers may be able to answer them. There will be ample time for interaction because there are breakout rooms in this session. Here to lead our session today is Stéphanie Canac.
Thanks a lot, and welcome everyone to this session. We'll discuss today how to harness innovation in Africa. What an amazing Oh, I've muted myself again. Thanks, Sarah. So I'll start by presenting what OceanHub Africa is. I've co-founded OceanHub Africa with Alexis 2 years ago, and I'll take you through what it is and what we do. And then I'll hand over the floor to 4 entrepreneurs that we are working with, or that we have worked with, that are going to take you through their journey as scientists and entrepreneurs. And then we'll split into breakout rooms. You'll get the opportunity during the breakout rooms to ask the questions that you want to ask to the entrepreneurs and start a discussion with them. We'll then come back all together and wrap up the session. Yes. So yeah, I'm good to go to present OceanHub Africa if you want to put the slides up there. So thanks. Perfect. So OceanHub Africa. I'm going to start with this quote. If you really think that the environment is less important than the economy, try holding your breath while you count your money. Really like this one. I think I don't really have to explain any further. But we just really at OceanHub Africa, we think is that the environment is so crucial that even if there's an economic potential to the ocean economy, we need to make sure that we take in account the impact that we have on the ocean. But I'll go into more details around that. You can go to the previous slide, sorry. I see that we've gone up a bit too much. The third slide, if you can go. Yeah, perfect. So oceans are the life support system of our planet. That's nothing new. They drive our climate, they provide food and water to all living things, and they connect our continents. The annual value of the global ocean economy, formal and informal, is estimated at $2.5 trillion. And it was expected to grow substantially, doubling by 2030. Those are figures pre-COVID, so it might need to be reviewed a bit, but it just gives you an idea of what opportunities they are in the ocean economy. However, our societies are already generating tremendous stress and strain onto this ecosystem, and this vast untapped economic potential needs to be addressed in a radically more sustainable manner than what we're doing now. But there are no easy fix. So how are we going to save our oceans? You can go to the next slides. For us, as we see it, protecting our ocean requires a combination of awareness, new policies, and innovations. All of those 3 pillars are really important. And what we've seen with Alexis before starting OceanHub Africa is that there were some great initiatives active in Africa to work on awareness and on policy, so the first 2 pillars. But we thought that they were lacking some incentives that were working on innovation. So that's what we wanted to do with OceanHub Africa. Our goal is really to accelerate the development and adoption of sustainable technologies that can be game changer. We believe it's down to innovation to implement the change and for us to promote those innovations. that will be led by science, by technology, and by entrepreneurship. They will provide the leverage points to address Sustainable Development Goal 14 at the right pace and scale. You can go to the next slide. I'll go very quickly on why we set up our hub in Cape Town. We're now Pan-African because we are online, but Cape Town is a really relevant place in Africa to initiate OceanHub Africa, with being a major international scientific hub, being an ideal test ground, a lot of companies within the ocean industry, but also an amazing ecosystem test ground. Like the ocean is so diverse that you can test any hardware outside of Cape Town. It's a major tech hub in Africa with a great entrepreneurial ecosystem existing that you can leverage, and there's very strong local support already. You can go to the next slide. So who we are, we gather different kind of stakeholders: entrepreneurs, corporates, organizations, investors, authorities, and research institutions to cross-fertilize ideas and expertise in a bid to accelerate the development of ocean-minded startups. And more concretely, what we offer is acceleration programs. We want to grow African ocean impact businesses to scale up disruptive solutions that demonstrate return on investment. So those are startups, for-profit startups. They need to be a financial return on investment possible, but also positive ocean impact. So those are the two things that we're looking for within the project that we accelerate. Our primary focus is life below water, but we touch upon a few other SDGs as well. You can go to the next slide. I'll go quickly there, but basically we have one program per year. We accelerated 6 startups last year, and we started working with 6 startups this year. And we offer mentorship and support. We offer access to a network, service packages from our corporate partners that deliver services for free to the entrepreneurs, and support in fundraising. We've been very happy last year to have 2 of our startups already raising funds out of 6, and the others are still working towards that. So you can go to the next slide. As I was saying, very important is to mix all different kind of stakeholders. So this is a snapshot of who we're working with, and everything is tailored towards adding value to the initiative OceanHub Africa, and so eventually to the startups and innovations that we're working with. So as you can see, we have professional services that deliver value directly to the accelerated startups. So that's our partners. For example, we have Dassault System. They will provide for free the prototyping and virtual testing software, very powerful for any startup that is working on an hardware product. Then we have ecosystem, all the other incubators and institutions. We can tap into that ecosystem for our startups. We have the mentors. The mentors are working very closely with our startup during the program on their strategy, operations, organization, and it goes usually beyond the program because they've built really strong links during the program. Then we have impact experts and university, very important and very relevant for today. We need to make sure that we know how to assess the impact and that we really understand the problems that we're trying to solve. We're also counting on technology transfers a lot. We have investors, so we have a pool of investors that we can tap into when the projects are ready to go to the next step. And then we're working as well with authorities. If you go to the next slide, just a short remark, it's very important for us to create a bridge between research and entrepreneurship. It's essential. We need to build the right solution, and that requires understanding thoughtfully the problem. If we don't understand exactly what's going on, we won't be able to build the right innovations. So that bound is really important, and it's important for us as well that the startup, the project that we're working with, they are either led by someone that comes from the entrepreneur, from the scientific background, as you're going to see with the entrepreneurs after that, or at least that in the teams, there are opportunities for people coming from those backgrounds, new job opportunities as CTOs, as CEOs, as co-founders, just to make sure that there's a balance between the business orientation of the project and the impact and the, just research orientation of the project. It's very dear to our heart. If you go to the next slide, and I'll just stop here. We won't go any further because I see time is running. We've also on the side created an event, Ocean Innovation Africa, to uplift the blue economy ecosystem in Africa. We wanted to inspire with that event. So if you're interested, you can go and have a look. The idea is really to showcase innovation in Africa during that event, to inspire more entrepreneurs to take part in the ecosystem, entice more private investors, educate on what the ecosystem is in Africa, and catalyze more partnerships. So as a follow-up of this discussion, it's going to be held in November 2021. Last year we had more than 600 registration. It's really a place where you can come and start cross-fertilizing ideas with other kind of stakeholders. Perfect. Thanks a lot for sharing the presentation, Judith. I'm gonna leave the floor to Lisa now. We're gonna first have a look at videos from our entrepreneurs, and then Lisa will take over and explain how the different breakout room will work. Thanks.
My name is Sara, and I would like to talk to you about the shark-safe barrier, the first nature-inspired, eco-friendly technology to protect people and sharks. What we are trying to solve is called the shark-human conflict, where people would like to enjoy entering the water in an area where sharks have been living for millions of years. This conflict results in a concern about human safety, a loss of tourism revenue, but also an environmental impact because of the way humans have been trying to solve this problem in the past. The tourism damage is quite massive. They calculated 20 million euro loss per year in tourism revenue, just in the small little island of Reunion, since the sharks started becoming a problem. They had to close beaches, and they saw a 40% reduction in booking after a single shark accident. And the way Reunion Island, but also South Africa and Australia have been trying to solve this problem is by killing as many sharks as possible to reduce the chances of shark encountering people. And they're doing that by deploying shark nets or baited hooks or specific culling program that are killing a lot of animals in the ocean that are not even sharks. That is where the shark-safe barrier is different. We are trying to separate sharks from surfers and swimmers without killing the marine life. The technology comes from the combination of two very well-known shark deterrent systems. One is the visual appearance of a thick forest of kelp, and the second one are the presence of permanent magnets that overwhelm one of the senses of the sharks. We tested these technologies since 2012 on bull shark and white shark. We never had a shark crossing our barrier during our test. We had this technology patented nationally and internationally, and we're very pleased with the results so far. That is how it looks. We attach multiple rows of HDPE recyclable and recycled plastic on the bottom, and the outside row of these units also has the magnets inside to create this magnetic field. We exported 200 of these units in Reunion Island 2 years ago, and the units did not break in 24 months of deployment, even though they were not maintained or clean, actually to see how they would perform. In time, these pipes actually became an artificial reef with a potential dive site attraction, and all the other animals could just swim through it without worries, without problems. And that is why we love our product compared to the current alternatives. In fact, if we go bottom to top in this table, you can see shark nets being the most used shark killing technology, and it's not eco-friendly, it's not shark-specific. It doesn't even create a physical barrier between people and shark. And it's very costly because we have to send boat to clean the dead animals out of it on a weekly basis. Drum lines are another word for baited hooks. They also kill shark with the same concept, that is the shark, that is the accident. Exclusion nets are a much better alternative than drum lines or shark nets because they create an enclosed area where everything bigger than the mesh net cannot pass. So it's very useful for protect surfers, but it's high in maintenance cost because it needs to be put in the morning and out in the evening. Where the sharks have barrier, of course, tick all the boxes. National-wise, it is a product that can help for job creation and skill development, and the area that will utilize this barrier can fit very well into the blue economy concept of long-term sustainability of our marine resources. We have a very nice run-up team of people with the same passion to try and solve this problem and protect marine life and people at the same time. National and international strategic partners, including the University of Stellenbosch. We ended up in the media often enough just because it is a product that is needed and it is really good for the environment. And that granted us also several awards, again, nationally and internationally. But please come to our website, www.sharksafesolution.com, and learn more about the SharkSafe value.
Hi, very excited to be at the Ocean Vision Summit 2021 and welcome to the recycling industry. My name is Stéphanie, a young ocean profession, graduate from the University of Dodoma in Tanzania, an ocean leader and hub leader of the Sustainable Ocean Alliance Tanzania. My great ambition and passion is to see the ocean healthy and sustainable to the next generations to come. In doing so, I mobilize the community, engaging them to ocean actions, especially youth, in taking actions in ocean actions. In doing so, I formulated Sustainable Ocean Alliance as a space to connect youth in ocean actions, educating them, raising awareness, and taking actions against ocean pollutions. Also, connected area career scientists in marine researches concerning ocean conservation and projects and protections against ocean pollutions through the West Indian Ocean Area Career Scientist Network. WIOMSA. Well, this is a very common situation to our ocean, plastic pollutions, marine leakages. It's a very sad story, and it's very common during rain season where the plastics are flooded all the way from the litter, from the riverine deltas, all the way to the ocean. It's very tragic to the ocean ecosystem, to the ocean species, and to our health too. Here in Tanzania, sea dugongs have been well affected with this, and it's more than a decade now, dugongs to be seen in ocean waters in Tanzania. In the case of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, 4,600 tons of plastic waste are generated every day. This is very tragic, contributing to more plastic waste to the ocean, affecting the ocean ecosystem and the species too. Also, the construction costs in Tanzania are very high, to a point that the people, the community, cannot afford. This is a very common situation to most of the rural areas where they try to see an alternative means, and it proves and shows vividly that construction costs are very high. They try to use bricks made up of mud, compounded together by using furnace that uses wood in their constructions. This is totally not ecological friendly because it distorts climate, contributing to climate effects and deforestations. As a scientist, knowing the suffering of construction costs and knowing the suffering of plastic pollutions, the marine leakages to the ecosystems, to the species, and to our environment too, I try to think and innovate a very great solutions to all this by trying first to see the perceptions of people, of community on plastic pollution problem. Is beach cleanup activities the only solution to the marine litter problem? Is raising awareness the only solution to the marine litter problem? By trying to see how we perceive the marine litter problem, is from there we get the solution to marine litter problems. For our sites, we try to showcase that the plastic waste perception can be changed from seeing the plastic as a waste into seeing a plastic as a raw material that can be reused, recycled, repurposed into something useful, something economically, and something ecologically friendly. Yes, polymer sand technology is our innovation, where we use it to turn the plastic waste into eco-friendly building materials, the eco bricks and pavements. We compound the sand and the bricks together in formulating eco bricks. Well, the whole process involves collection of plastics from the beach and then sorting them down into those which that we can recycle, the plastic bottles and plastic packages, and then compounding together with sand, bringing out eco bricks and pavements ready for ecological constructions. Our products are very quality with only sand and plastics with zero cement and water. They are proven to be antifungal and anticorrosive. They're very durable, 2 times more than the already present, the traditional bricks present to our communities. They are waterproof and soundproof. Our market is very interesting and very huge and large one, with 1.6 billion total available markets and 10.3 million serviceable to the market. We work hard and strive to tap this market. Very interesting one. We offer eco-friendly building materials made up of plastic waste and distribute them to individuals for their constructions, construction companies, home remodeling companies, and house and hospital institutions. So our revenue model is business to customer. Wow. In 2020, we managed to prove that our solution is very actionable by constructing toilets to primary school, Karume and Kiburugo Primary School here in Temeke District, Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, giving the youth and the students access to sanitable environment, to sanitable buildings for their healthy. And this shows EcoBricks is a very great solution to marine litter problem. We managed to collect more than 200 tons of plastics from the ocean, employed women and youth in recycling, collection, and production process at our recycling industry. We project from this year on to increase our production capacity to more than 2,000 EcoBricks per day and collect more than 20 tons per day. In 5 years to come, we would like to be well recognized as the #1 industry in producing eco-friendly building materials made up from plastic waste like tiles, curbs, pavements, and EcoBricks. Wow, meet a very wonderful and amazing team made up of Helen Silas, our Director General, a medical laboratory scientist, I myself, Chief Operational Officer, a marine scientist, Zagari Emmanuel, Chief Technological Officer, HR, Irene Goodluck, and Chief Finance Officer, Joyce Clay. Next time you want to have your construction done, consider the problem that we are facing, the marine litter problem and the construction costs. Try to be ecologically friendly by contact us for our services, for our products are ecologically friendly and saves the blue planet for marine litter problem.
Hello, my name is Neva Zekea. I have a PhD in life science. I'm a CEO of the company Plant Biodefender Company Limited, registered in Tanzania for production and distribution of organic pesticide. I'm also working as a lecturer at the College of African Wildlife Management. I was also a best innovator during my PhD at Nelson Mandela African Institution of Science and Technology. I also won an award in the Fungi Division in the Society of Invertebrate Pathology of America. I also emerged as a best inventor in Tanzania in 2019, 2020, and 2021. So I'm here to present the title for this meeting known as a novel biological control of Phalaenopsis Spodoptera flugpeda in Tanzania. Spodoptera flugpeda or Phalaenopsis is an invasive pest that invaded Tanzania since 2017. This pest causes high damage on maize and causes high loss on other more than 80 species. It does not only affect maize or damage only maize, it has more than 80 plant species. Most of them are cereal crops, also tubers, also all grasses plant this pest damage. It can also damage vegetables, especially sweet corn and also other vegetables. Apart from that, even fruits, for instance, apple, grapes, orange, papaya, these are also damaged by the pest. So the pest has high impact on food production and also economy of people in Tanzania and other sub-Saharan Africa. These are the damage of the pests. So the pest can damage crops from early vegetative stage and can go even up to maturity stage, where it can also damage the corn, causing massive late even at harvesting stage. So management of this pest recently is due to the farmers are using chemical pesticides that pollute much environment. Also, they're expensive, and also they are not eco-friendly. So we did a trial in a northern part of Tanzania, in Arusha and Kilimanjaro. We did this experiment by checking or comparing the efficacy between Vuruga biocide, chemical biocide, and one botanical extract to see whether Vuruga is effective than this one, or which one could be cost effective and also environmental safe. So the experiment was done according to procedures, and the results were obtained. So Vuruga biocide was very effective, where it caused high mortality rate to pest or to fallen worm in the field. And also when we counted number of damaged leaves, that because leaves has influence on yield, so we found that on Vuruga biocide, low damage was observed compared to chemical pesticide on botanical and the untreated plots. So these are the graphs that shows that Vuruga had a very low damage, especially during the early stage, because we did not introduce Vuruga at the early stage. The pest can damage even at the early stage. So here is the positive, the negative control or untreated, high damage was obtained. Also percentage of undamaged grain after harvesting. Percentage of undamaged, you can see Vuruga was more than 94% of undamaged yield, compared to uncontrolled, where almost around 30 or 20 of undamaged yield was obtained. So this showed that Vuruga is more effective compared to chemical that is mostly trusted by farmers in Tanzania, but yet caused the high loss. Why Vuruga is more efficacious compared to chemicals? Vuruga has unique mode of action. Vuruga works by pathogenesis. It causes disease to pest. Once you spray Vuruga on your field or on maize, it kills the pest by passing through the pest, then using the pest as a source of food. So it acts as a parasite on the pest. So at the end, it kills the host that is the pest. As you can see from this slide, that the dead pest at the end become almost rubbish or waste, because all nutrients has been exhausted by the fungus that is the biopest or the Vuruga biocide. So this is how Vuruga work. And with the Vuruga biocide, we only sprayed it twice, while in chemical pesticide, we sprayed 4 times until when a harvest was done. So Vuruga is cost effective, safe for environment, safe for users, especially farmers, even consumers of maize and other crops, compared to chemicals that has high residue rate. And also this goes to ocean as pollutant through runoff and other water sources. So these are the field that was sprayed by Vuruga, and this was how it was conducted. So we sprayed just by using a sprayer pump, by mixing a ratio of 2 mL of Vuruga biocide by 1 liter of water. Then you spray once or twice, then crops are safe and the farmer is safe. So it saves cost and also time. So conclusive, we can say Vuruga is more effective compared to chemical pesticide, and is the best option because it is accessible, affordable, and save environment, especially oceans that are receivers of all pollutants from the land. So also in Vuruga biocide, high yield was obtained. So this was achieved through synergistic effect with natural enemies and pollinators. Vuruga is good attractant of pollinator and natural enemy. This is in contrast with the chemical pesticide. Once you spray, all predators, all parasitoids and bees as pollinators are also killed by chemical pesticide. So we encourage users to use Vuruga because save environment, also have high yield because attract pollinators and natural enemies. Vuruga also as the best option in Tanzania, participated in national science and technology and innovation exhibitions that is conducted annual. So Vuruga emerged as the best innovation in Tanzania, the effective and organic high technology that is controlling farmers' problem by low costs, but also saving environment. So we won an award and certificate, and we got some fund for Vuruga Biosite. So this is a proud for us, and also we wish to extend production so that we reach farmers in Tanzania, even across sub-Saharan Africa, because Folamwem is extended and has established in many countries in sub-Saharan Africa. So all stakeholders or people interested in Vuruga Biocide and organic and effective, so we are welcome all of you and who is listening to this presentation to invest and also to be our ambassador for promoting this organic pesticide. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Ivashita Tala, and I am representing Green Ocean Namibia as a founder and CEO. So my presentation today focuses on digitalization of sustainable fishery in Namibia. So a little bit about my background. So I come from an environmental engineering background. So I worked about 8 years in environmental consulting, and I co-authored in publication mainly on inclusion of youth in agribusiness in Africa, as well as pollution control. And in 2019, I founded Zadiva Fishery Products, and our company focuses on B2B clients and mainly supply restaurants, supermarkets, and hotels. So just to take you through about our journey, so how we started. So Zadiva was founded in 2019 by myself, and we got registered the same year. So our operation is based in the capital city, Windhoek of Namibia. So just again to refresh your mind. So we actually used to supply B2B businesses such as restaurants, supermarkets, but in Windhoek mainly in Oranjemund. But because of COVID, we had to close our operations for the month of April. And in June, we opened and rebranded ourselves, and we started focusing on end consumers. And with this, we actually started investigating more what our customers would want. And we focused mainly on inclusion of small-scale fishermen into our operations, and rural fish distributors and individuals in general, which are your end consumers. And looking at across all the challenges that they had. So they range from not having a facility to store the fishery products to actually unable to process the product and reaching the market, and also not having enough stock to distribute and lack of transportation. And also the inability of individuals to prepare the fish. I think this is many people struggles on how to prepare the fishes as well. So now our innovation that I'm going to focus more on, which is Green Ocean Namibia, solely focuses on small-scale fishermen in order for them to actually have a decent income from this. and also promote responsible consumption. We know that preaching consuming local is important, because not that it just helps you support local businesses, but you also get to contribute to climate action, innovation, and also stay local partnerships. So with Green Ocean Namibia, we focus on building sustainable fishery through locally sourced fish products, or fishery products that comes from aquaculture activities, in order to service the local consumption. So, and I'm going to dig deeper more onto what Green Ocean Namibia is all about. So Green Ocean Namibia is a digital marketplace for fresh fish products in Namibia, and it comes in the form of a mobile application as well as an online shop that showcase both seasonal and non-seasonal fish products. So with this platform, you can actually become a royal customer, and you can be signed up to be receiving consistent stock all the time to avoid inconvenience. And the platform, we also view it as data management tools and analytics. So where it actually maps out supply and demand, and as well as map out customers' behaviors on which product they buy the most, and as well as promote a sustainable impact. And with this, through being informed on what customers want and supply and demand, you are able to challenge and map out how much of the fish products can actually be caught for the local consumption. And on the other hand, the digital platform also offer educational tool where it showcase on different easy recipes on how to prepare the fish products, and value addition on how to process your fish in order to avoid spoilage, and as well as the unique platform where you can actually see which fish products are actually flagged as not so sustainable fishery products, so in order to discourage the customers. So the platform also offer an opportunity for small-scale fishermen as well as fish distributors to promote their businesses as well through the platform. And so having said that about the platform and our innovation, I did not work on this idea by myself. I worked with a team of extra 2 individuals, Deborah, who works in research and development, and Mati, who is a business strategist and the chief operational officer. So just again, to take you through to how far we have gone from for our idea, we have developed our concept mainly for 6 months, and we developed a digital prototype. We have raised about 20,000 Namibian dollars, which is the local currencies, a local currency, and this funds that we have raised so far is to actually develop the digital platform, and we have signed up 20 fishermen who actually want to participate in the pilot project to see how it goes, and we modify it from there. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to your questions.
Hi, thank you very much for those amazing, innovative startup ideas that these people are going to share with us and that they have started. So I am Lisa Shangeta. I am a master's candidate at the University of Cape Town here in South Africa. I am originally from Namibia, but have stayed in South Africa for a while now. So it's quite amazing to see all this Pan-African ocean impact and ocean solution innovative ideas coming together. So without further ado, we get to meet them now in 2 breakout sessions. So the first breakout session will be moderated and chaired by Dr. Valeria Komjakova from Australia, the University of Tasmania. And we will have the startups that you saw. So we'll have two startups. The first one will be Sarah Andreotti with Shark Safe Barriers, and Evan Damona Shitatala, and they will also be joined by Stéphanie Canac. So please join the session. And then the second breakout session will be with me, Lisa Shangeta, and we will have Neva Mwambela and Alice David from Tanzania. And we hope to see their reach in the East African society. So join us for these two sessions, and we'll come back here after.
All right. I think we must have about everyone. Thanks a lot, Lisa and Valeria, for putting together those breakout rooms. It was really interesting. So do you want to, Valeria and Lisa, I'm going to hand you the floor just for you to give us your perspectives on the discussions that we had and different breakout rooms, and any main takeaways that you would like to share with the floor. So whoever wants to start, I'll let you decide.
Hello, we had a fantastic discussion in our breakout room, Ocean Biodiversity, and we actually covered a lot of topics, and I think we got fantastic advice from Eva, Sarah, and Stéphanie as well. We have talked about some of the challenges that entrepreneurs face when they are starting their startups, which was connected to the difficulty of promoting new innovative technologies or innovative ideas and communicating it to the broader stakeholder community, that people may be unsure about using something that they're not necessarily familiar with. And of course, as with everything, funding is always a major challenge of how can you find sufficient funds to start supporting your new ideas. It may also be difficult. Sarah has pointed out that if you're working or if you're trying to protect something that might not be that popular with some people, like sharks, it may be quite difficult to engage people in that space and communicate the importance of different species, for example, in the environment. But then we talked about, so what are the solutions or how our innovators have addressed those issues? And one of the major themes that came through is networking, and networking one more time, which means communicating your ideas and the importance of your ideas to a broader community, perhaps starting from your friends or other people that are close to you. And of course, making sure that you're using your products as well, so it becomes visible, participating in workshops and other events to promote not only your product, but also why is it important and how can people support you, and perhaps starting actually with people that are already aware of some of the problems that you're addressing, and starting from people that are starting to ask you how can they come on board with your innovation. We talked about how policy can support innovation, and we came to a conclusion that actually policy and policymakers have a big role to play in supporting innovation, and that they should prioritize the sector, and of course also put some funding into the research, because research and additional data is very important for the innovators, so they can address those gaps that exist and target their innovations, target their businesses in a way so they can address the needs of the community and other stakeholders. And of course, there is a lot of talk about blue economy now, and we still think that there needs to be more conversation happening between different stakeholders, and that may be another challenge in terms of involving everyone in this conversation on innovation, the research, data gaps, policymaking, and all that needs to come together for us to work together towards a better future. And the final note, we also talked about that sometimes it may be difficult for innovators to work with institutions like academia, because they can be quite rigid and, well, that adding from me, maybe not that welcoming, and that it is the key for the institutions to start communicating with the innovators, or improve communicating, I should say, because at the moment the movement in terms of innovation is mostly from bottom up, and we need to start moving in both directions and work towards better future. I hope I gave a sufficient summary. Thank you again to our panel members.
Thanks a lot, Valeria. Lisa, do you want to take over? And yeah, amazing. Go ahead.
That's amazing, Valeria. Thanks for that amazing summary. So in the second breakout room, we had startups that are ocean pollution based, and that was an absolutely amazing discussion. We had participation from the audience, and that was amazing. Thank you very much. So both our entrepreneurs started from science and moved into the entrepreneurship space. So that was quite amazing, and we got quite good advice on how they managed to make the transition from science to entrepreneurship. Mainly it was based on their on restrictions from the government, as Neva pointed out, that in Tanzania she cannot she could not have showcased her products without having had registered a business. So, and that's another important thing that came out in the breakout session, is that they both drew inspiration from their surrounding areas and what they were faced with. And that is an important lesson for us, because we do not all have the same problems, and we can only learn and take inspiration from each other to deal with our problems specifically. And I thought that was quite amazing, and how the entrepreneurs did it is amazing. And once again, as Valeria mentioned, it's all connections, and your connections are your marketing strategies. And they both pointed out that they have good teams, and the teams is based on the connections that you're making. And yeah, so we also discussed how they can maybe perhaps broaden their scope into different regions. And one of the most important things that came out was you have to start at home first and build strong at home. So both our entrepreneurs are building strong first in Tanzania, and they do have plans to make their products available in the rest of Africa, and perhaps Alice was faced with the question of expanding to Asia, where plastic pollution is a dire problem. So the main thing was build at home first before you expand. Thank you very much for the amazing session.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for the energy and for wrapping up everything. Valeria as well. Yeah, it was really interesting. I see that there were some common themes in between the different sessions, but also some things that complement each other. So that's perfect that we got the summary of what was discussed in each breakout room. Thanks a lot again. Now, before we end the session, I'm going to hand over to Sarah, Eva, Neva, and Ellis. Maybe 2 minutes each. If you just want to wrap up as well, you know, a takeaway, anything that you wanted to mention and maybe you didn't have the opportunity to mention in the breakout room, anything that you want to raise, any advice that you want to give to people that are listening to us that are mostly from scientific background, and I guess that wants to get involved in the entrepreneurial journey. So we'll start with Sarah, if that's okay, and then we'll go just as on my screen to Eva, Neva, and Ellis. Ellis, you're the only male entrepreneur here, so you'll go last. Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you, Steph. There was a question in the chat asking, that was from Christian Caruso, asking, do you think in the near future researchers can stop relying on funding? which is it's such a good wish. It will be amazing if institutions will have enough money to sponsor research, you know, pure research, and so the scientist doesn't have to stress about fund applications all the time. But I had this conversation with a mentor of mine, Marius Ungerer, from the business school of the University of Stellenbosch, where he was mentioning that the figure of the pure academic that just does research is slowly fading away, probably for a combination of, you know, the economy is not doing as well as in the 80s and the 90s anymore. There are a lot more people that has a decrease compared to some years ago. So it's a combination of these things. Seems that the new generation of scientists has to engage with the public more and start being an entrepreneur in a way as well. So it is a skill set that is becoming more and more important for scientists, so that we are not going to rely on funding. We are going to generate funding. We are not going to apply for funding. We are going to make up our own funding that will support the research and the work we want to carry on, which is basically what got me to decide to work on SharkSafe. Asking for funding all the time for shark research takes a lot of time for a very little amount of funding coming our way. And mostly marine research is expensive. So if SharkSafe can be successful in this field, we're going to solve a problem and generate enough funding that can go back and support the research that is so much needed. So probably that's the way to go, instead of, you know, keep on sobbing about the good old days where scientists can just have their academic position and get paid.
Thanks a lot, Sarah. I think it's a very fair point. The more successes, the more funding will be refueled into research. So that's the way to go, I guess. Eva, your turn.
Yes, okay, thank you. I think this was really a great opportunity to share as well, but also to get to learn from everybody talking about similar challenges and also things that we deal with. I think as entrepreneurs, we are challenged with the same thing, but the hope is that we keep going on because we are bringing impact. And I think tapping into the issue of funding, again, it's really looking at also how we can do blend funding because there are institutions who sort of like have money through social corporate responsibilities as well, which is an avenue that we can tap into. But if we can just show them to or direct to prioritize in terms of putting money in terms of this development, which is innovation as well, I think it will work. And I think we are also seeing a lot of importance actually to have solutions that are research driven. And then I think if we work it this way, that we as researcher, you come from an aspect where you're addressing real life challenges, I think it will also help to direct funding in the right channels. And I think there will probably be no issues because it's really tapping into what industry needs or what society needs and so forth. So I think with those few words, I can say really thank you for the great opportunity to be sharing with you all and also to have this session.
Thanks a lot, Eva. Thanks a lot for participating as well. Neva, do you want to also share with us a last word?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. We have marketed ourselves well. So it's also has made us move to another step. But my concern, as my colleague said, is accessing funding for us as a startup. It is a main challenge. People do not trust us. Sometimes we are forced to maybe to collaborate with academia and other big companies. That for startup it is very difficult. So we need you. Or we asking for OceanHub and others who are listening to assist us on getting funding and other support, technical support, because there are a lot to be done for startups, so it is different. Also, as policymakers and maybe Africa as a region, we need to assist the startup because we are doing this not only for the benefit of startup, even for environment saving people. So we need your support so that we move. It needs to be a collaborative, not only to be left on startup. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Neva, for that very relevant point. Elas, last but not least.
Thank you very much, Stefan. And I want to thank you all for the amazing opportunity and for the amazing sessions. And I'm not very much different from what others have said. And I should just repeat what Valeria and Lisa say, that all matters is network with stakeholders and everyone that's involved within the community, within the ecosystem, to make sure that everything goes high. And because I love the ocean very much, I would like to say that creating the ocean we want for the future we want is also raised on how we sustainably use the ocean, and that involves innovations that can bring the ocean to the future that we are looking at. You see, so I want everyone to go out with the message, with a takeaway that we should not only think about addressing the challenges and the problems that we see in our environment that we are facing on. We should not just say, oh, there is the ocean is facing from the litters. You see, we should also try and think how can we solve it? How can we innovate something and solve the solution in a better future to create the ocean that we need for the future we want. And I promise that arena recycling industry is going to boom even higher and solving the world from marine litters. Thank you very much.
That's what we hope, Elas, and that's what we hope for your 4 projects, Sarah, Eva, Never, and Elas. Really, that you can scale and that you can create the impact that you're looking to create. And just as a conclusion, thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot to you 4, to Lisa and Valeria, and to everyone who joined the session. It's very exciting and inspiring to see how much energy you're dedicating to creating change and impact. I think that's the way forward, and thank you for being so involved in your different missions. It's amazing to see. As a takeaway from the session, I think really we need to build a bridge between research and entrepreneurship, and that's going to go through a lot of networking, as we said, because networking allows collaboration. And I think that's important. Networking really allows different kind of stakeholders to come together to expose the different viewpoints. For a researcher, it's very important to understand the point of view of an investor and to put themselves in their shoes as well as for a corporate to put themselves in the shoes of an entrepreneur and to understand that they need to be very reactive and the other way around. I mean, it's all about understanding each one's point of view and collaborating, and that goes through networking. And I think thanks a lot to Ocean Vision, because those kind of platforms are a very good start to collaborating and to networking. It's an amazing way of doing it. And you've brought us all together to this inspiring session, and I think a lot has been said, so I won't be too long, but thanks again to everyone. I don't know what will be the follow-up, but I mean, you have all our names, you know the project that we've been representing, and so if anyone wants to get engaged, please do so. Thanks a lot to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last thank you to OceanHub Africa. You guys are doing amazing work, bringing people together from all sorts of places. Thank you very much.